Your life as every level of the CIA's Black Operations Division. The envelope arrives on a Tuesday. No return address. Your name typed, not handwritten. Inside, a single card with a phone number and 3 words. Don't call twice, you call once. That's how it starts. Level 1, the selected. You don't apply for this, you're found. Someone has been watching you for longer than you know. Your psych evaluations from the Army, your language scores, the way you handled the incident in Stuttgart that got buried 3 levels above your pay grade. They read everything. They decide before you even know there's a decision to be made. The first meeting happens in a conference room with no windows, in a building you were told is a contractor facility for the Department of Defense. The man across from you has no business card. He asks you 4 questions. You answer 3 of them honestly. He nods, like that's exactly right. You sign documents you're not allowed to read in full. You initial 17 pages. You're told that what you're agreeing to doesn't legally exist in the form you're signing it, which is how they protect both of you. You don't fully understand that sentence. You sign anyway. Your life as you knew it gets a quiet, official ending. Your bank account receives $4,200 from a logistics company registered in Delaware. Your first week of orientation takes place in a basement in Northern Virginia, where the fluorescent lights hum just slightly too loud and the coffee is always burnt, and nobody ever tells you their last name. You sleep 6 hours a night. You run 5 miles every morning before dawn. You sit in rooms and learn how to read people, read rooms, read silences. You're not an asset yet. You're not an officer yet. You're a question they haven't finished asking. You tell yourself this is temporary, that this is just training, that once you get through this part, things will become clearer. They don't tell you yet that clarity is the first thing this job takes from you. Level 2, the apprentice. Your handler's name is Renner. That's probably not his real name. You stop caring about that around week 3. Renner teaches you the architecture of a lie, not just how to tell one, how to build one so that the truth fits inside it like furniture fits a room. The lie is the structure. The truth is just decoration. Your first assignment is low risk, low visibility. A city in Eastern Europe. You're told to make contact with a man who teaches economics at a university and has dinner every Thursday with a mid-level official from the Defense Ministry. You're not extracting anything. You're not turning anyone. You're just watching, logging, building a picture. You spend 11 days in a cold apartment above a pharmacy. You drink bad wine and eat takeout and sit by the window with a long lens and a notebook. You watch the professor. You note the times, the body language, the vehicles outside the restaurant. Nothing dramatic happens. That's the point. You file your report. Renner reads it in 4 minutes and says, "Good. 1 adjustment." He circles a single line where you wrote that the professor seemed nervous. He crosses it out and writes, "Displayed elevated vigilance." Seem is your interpretation. Displayed is observable. We deal in observable. That distinction will stay with you for the rest of your career. On the flight home, you realize you spent 11 days watching a man who will never know you existed. You affected nothing. You recorded everything. And somewhere above your level, someone made a decision based on what you wrote, and you'll never know what that decision was. You tell yourself this is fine. You almost believe it. Level 3, the operator. Your cover identity now has a full one. Passport, backstory, professional history, social media presence built over 2 years by a team you've never met. You are, on paper, a regional consultant for an agricultural export firm based in Amsterdam. You've never been to Amsterdam. Your cover has. The work gets physical at level 3. Not violent, not yet, but physical. You're moving: Prague, Ankara, Kuala Lumpur. You carry things across borders that are logged nowhere. You meet people in hotel bars and parking garages, and once, memorably, in the back of a moving train somewhere between Budapest and Vienna, where a man hands you a phone, you read the screen, you hand it back, and you both pretend the other doesn't exist for the remaining 4 hours of the journey. You're good at this. You know you're good because they keep using you. Your personal life has become a managed inconvenience. You have an apartment in DC you see maybe 60 days a year. You have a brother who thinks you work cybersecurity for a private firm. You call him on holidays. He tells you about his kids. You say the right things. You hang up and feel a distance that has nothing to do with geography. The moral math starts at level 3. There's a night in Ankara where you're told an asset you've been cultivating for 4 months has been compromised. You're given a choice. 2 options, outlined clinically by a voice on an encrypted line. Option A protects the network. Option B protects the asset. They are mutually exclusive. You ask how much time you have to decide. You don't, the voice says. You choose option A. You don't sleep well for about 2 weeks. Then you sleep fine. That's the thing nobody tells you. It's not that it stops bothering you. It's that you stop being the kind of person it bothers. The change is so gradual, you only notice it in retrospect. Level 4, the ghost. They stop calling you by your name. Inside the division, you have a designator. 2 letters, 3 numbers. That's you now in every internal communication. The people above you know your face. The people below you don't know you exist. You run 2 assets simultaneously across different theaters. You have a budget of $180,000 per quarter that you allocate without oversight, reporting only results. You have a standing authorization to cross into 4 countries under diplomatic cover and 2 more under commercial cover. You carry 3 phones. 1 is completely clean. 1 has 1 contact. 1 you replace every 6 weeks. The work at level 4 is strategic. You're not executing anymore. You're designing. You build the conditions under which things happen, then other people happen inside those conditions, and then you're already gone. There's a specific kind of power in invisibility that you don't expect. Real power, you've learned, doesn't announce itself. It doesn't need to. The man who walks into a room and commands it is performing. Real power is the man who was already in the room before anyone arrived, and who will still be there after everyone leaves, and who nobody noticed at all. You think about who you were at level 1. The envelope on a Tuesday, the signed forms. You barely recognize that person. You don't grieve him. What you feel instead is something quieter and colder, a professional satisfaction, a precision. You are very good at something very few people can do, and almost no one will ever know that. That's enough. For now. Level 5. The architect. You stop going into the field. This isn't a punishment, it's a promotion. The field is for people who are still learning the terrain. You've mapped more terrain than most officers ever see. Now you sit at the table where the maps get drawn. Your office is on a floor that doesn't appear on the building directory. You have 2 analysts, a liaison to the NSA, and access to a database with a classification level that has no public name. You don't type your own emails. You don't carry your own files. Everything flows through people who are 2 levels below you and who experience you largely as a voice on a phone and a signature at the bottom of a tasking memo. You design operations now, full cycle, from intelligence gap to collection strategy to action to deniability architecture. You think in systems, you think in contingencies, you think 3 moves ahead, and you keep your 4th move to yourself. The loneliness at level 5 is professional, not personal. You're surrounded by people all day, meetings, briefings, secure video calls with counterparts in allied services, but none of them see the whole picture you're seeing.
Everyone at this level operates in controlled, partial visibility, including you. You only know your quadrant of the sky. You've made peace with that. What you haven't made peace with, though you'd never say this, is the realization that the operations you design are clean in concept and complicated in consequence. People's lives get redirected by what you write in a memo. You approved an operation last quarter that resulted in a man being arrested in a country with a prison system you know about in enough detail to understand what that means for him. He was guilty of what he was accused of. That's not the issue. The issue is that you feel nothing about it, and you can't tell anymore if that's a feature or a cost. Level 6, the Senior Shadow. At level 6, you have a title that means nothing on paper and everything in practice. You're not officially a deputy director. You don't sit in a publicly acknowledged organizational chart. You are, on record, a senior advisor to an interagency working group. What that means is that 3 deputy directors call you before they make certain decisions, and none of them admit to doing so. The secretary of something, you've had this conversation with 3 different secretaries of 3 different things, knows your designator and has standing authorization to reach you directly. You have attended 2 National Security Council briefings in which you were not acknowledged as present. That's where real authority lives, not in the title, in the room. You know things at level 6 that would restructure public understanding of multiple world events. Not because governments are evil, that's a naive framing, but because the world is managed. It's always been managed. Someone has always been in the room making the calculations that the public never sees, because the public, given those calculations, would not handle them well. You've decided this is true. You've built your entire value system around it. Your family, to the extent you still have one in any functional sense, knows you as a man who works long hours in national security. Your ex-wife described you once as completely present in your body and completely absent everywhere else. You didn't argue. You went for a run that evening, 8 miles. You didn't think about what she said. You thought about a problem you were working on. You solved it by mile 5. Level 7, the Unnamed. There are 7 people in the world who know your full operational history. One of them is you. You've been in this division for over 2 decades now. You've outlasted 4 directors, 2 administrations, 1 major reorganization, and a congressional investigation that got within 16 documents of touching something with your name on it and then stop. You are, at this point, a load-bearing wall inside an institution that couldn't remove you without understanding everything you know, and nobody has that clearance, not entirely. That's not an accident. At level 7, the currency isn't money, it isn't rank, it's irreplaceability. You've made yourself structurally essential in ways that are distributed across enough systems that your removal would create cascading problems nobody wants to explain. You operate with almost no oversight because the oversight structure was partially designed by you. You don't experience this as corruption, you experience it as engineering. The cost is a kind of complete solitude, not loneliness exactly. You've forgotten what loneliness feels like. It's something more architectural. You have constructed yourself so thoroughly around function that the personal has become theoretical. You know this. You've known it for years. There are quiet moments, 3 a.m., the office empty, a glass of water on your desk, when you try to remember what you wanted before this, before the envelope on a Tuesday, before Renner's red pen and the cold apartment and the man on the train. You remember the shape of a feeling, but not the feeling itself. You turn back to the screen. There's always more work. Level 8, the architecture itself. You are no longer a person who works in the system. You are part of what the system protects. There's no ceremony for this, no moment when someone tells you you've reached it. You realize it slowly, the way you realize it's winter, not from a single cold day, but from an accumulation of evidence over time. The evidence is this: decisions get made and you were the reason, but your name is nowhere. Operations run and succeed and get filed and processed, and nobody traces them back to you because the trace was designed by you to stop before it gets there. You are, in the vocabulary of the institution, foundational infrastructure. You have a medical profile known to 2 doctors who work for the agency and one who doesn't, and who is paid through a corporate structure in Liechtenstein and who has never treated anyone else. You have 3 residences, one known, one operational, one that exists in a category between those 2 with no good name. You have resources that wouldn't survive public scrutiny and couldn't be legally explained, and which you justify to yourself not with rationalization, but with silence. You stopped explaining yourself to yourself years ago. What you have at level 8 is perspective. You understand the full machine, not every bolt, but the shape of it, how it sustains itself, how it absorbs people and transforms them and uses them, and when it's finished with them, files them. How it is neither good nor evil, but is simply operational, like weather, like gravity. How the individuals inside it believe they are guiding it when mostly they are being carried. This understanding doesn't make you powerful in the way you imagined power when you were young. It makes you still. The ambition you used to feel is gone. There's nowhere left to go. You are where the going ends. And what you find here is not triumph. It's not satisfaction exactly. It's something closer to the emotional equivalent of a very long exhale. You sit in your known residence on a Wednesday evening. You eat dinner alone. Outside, the city runs its ordinary life at full volume. Inside, you are completely quiet. You have made the world different in ways that are invisible, permanent, and unacknowledgeable. That is what this was always going to cost. You just didn't know the price at the beginning. Nobody ever does. Somewhere tonight, a young officer is in a basement in Northern Virginia. The fluorescent lights hum too loud. The coffee is burnt. He just signed something he didn't fully read. He thinks this is the beginning of something he will come to understand. He thinks clarity is waiting for him somewhere further in. He has no idea what he is becoming, but he will. They always do.